Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sarah Newman, and I'm so happy you're joining me for this episode of Saturday with Sara. Today, I'm really excited to show you the new Alterego collection from our friends at Stamperia. We have pattern papers, rub-on transfers, and chipboard embellishments. And this collection is really unique. So let's have a look. We can start with our papers. I'll move our embellishments out of the way just for now, and we can flip through. So this paper pack includes 10 double-sided sheets of 8 by 8 heavyweight paper. And the inside front and inside back covers, let me flip to the back here, have bonus cutout elements, and you can see those here. So as we go through the paper collection, I think you can see what Stamperia means when they say alter ego. So if you like quirky, vintage, kind of a steampunk style, you will really like this. If you like animals like me, then you'll absolutely love it. We've also got some really nice classic backgrounds in here that go very nicely with our more illustrated pages. So those are the background sheets. Now you'll also notice one thing Stamperia does that I really like is they provide sheets of cutouts in the paper pack. So here you've got a main illustration on one side. When you flip it over, you can see you've got some space for personalization with those same cutouts. Same thing here with our quirky little animals. And then on the other side, you've got some room to add in perhaps cutouts, chipboard, rub-ons, or other elements. Here's some more cutouts. And then on the other side, you've got a really nice overall background. So again, then here is the inside back cover with some more cutouts in there. So that is our 8 by 8 paper pack. Then to go along, of course, we've got a nice set of rub-ons here, beautiful designs to add an extra touch to your projects. There are always instructions on the back of the packaging, but of course I will show you how to use those. And then finally we have the set of 39 chipboard elements, and I put them onto 2 sheets so you can see the designs a bit more clearly. They're perfect for card focals or for the inside of your card. You've got some messages, some larger elements, some small pieces to do some layering and collaging with. So as you can see, we have a very unique collection to create with today. It's been a lot of fun to play with these. I'm really glad you're here, and I'm so excited to explore the creative possibilities with you. So come play with us. Let's start with this card, which uses 2 of the pattern papers. I've got some cutouts, I've got a rub-on, chipboard elements, and I've also got some chicken wire die-cut cardstock for extra dimension. So let's look at the various layers here. We can start at the bottom with our pattern paper and kind of work our way up. So this is the sheet that I've used for most of the front of my card. I think this is just stunning. And so I've glued that to the front of my card base, and then I've added a little bit of this taupe pattern paper here. And I think this really works nicely to emphasize the warm sort of earth tones in here, but it also contrasts beautifully with this blue. So I've just cut a narrow strip of this and added it along the border, along the fold of the card. Then in between these 2 pattern papers, I've got one of the straight line dazzles. So let me show you these. I've really been going through these quite a lot. As you can see, I don't have very many left on here. So they come in gold, but they also come in black and silver and white. And these are great for just adding a little bit of a border in between 2 different pattern papers. So there are thin and thicker line dazzles, and you can choose which one you like. I've used one of the thinner ones on here, and it just provides a really nice contrast between the 2. So then the texture that you see on here is teal cardstock, and this has been die cut with the chicken wire die. So I can show that one to you. This is a classic in my crafting stash. It's 2 dies, so you've got this outside frame piece here, which is really useful for lots of things, and then also the chicken wire die itself. Of course, Hot Off the Press is going to provide you with a project idea, which you can see here, but this is such a versatile pattern that it works beautifully, whether you use it all as one piece or cut it apart like I did here. Now, one thing I will recommend with something that is as detailed as that chicken wire, I really like using the quick release die paper. This will come on a roll, and all you need to do is pull off just about as much as your die, snip that off with a pair of scissors, and then sandwich this in between your paper and your die. So when you cut it out, it will cut a lot more smoothly and easily. And all of those little inny bits will fall right out, which is nice. So then you'll have a piece that will look like this. And again, you can use this as it is. You can also just grab a pair of scissors and snip it apart to have some smaller pieces to use together. So that's what I've done here, just snipped that piece apart. Now I die cut this from a teal cardstock, and the cardstock I'm working with is from the Songbirds cardstock collection from Hot Off the Press. You can see all of those beautiful colors in there, and that's the teal that I was working with. So that provides a nice bit of contrast, and again goes to support that beautiful blue in the background paper. So then I've also got on here a cutout. Now this is a cutout from the paper pack, of course, and I've got this beautiful Steampunk stag rub-on right here in the middle. So let's take a look at how easy this is to apply. So I've got another one of the cutouts here. It's going to be tricky to decide which side to use, but I'll use this open area. And I've just snipped out our little rabbit here, a very handsomely dressed rabbit. And I like that these just perfectly fit into that open space there. So now the only other thing that I need to have on hand is a bone folder. And the instructions on the back of the package will show you how to do this perfectly. But I think I'll just demonstrate this for you as well because it's so easy to do. So I've pulled off that liner sheet and I'm just going to position him right down on here. Kind of make sure I know where I want him to go. Smooth this piece down. Now I've folded up a little corner up here so I've got something to grab onto. But I'm going to smooth this down really securely. And this will stay on here like this, so I don't have to worry about my rub-on sliding around. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder to apply some sturdy, even pressure, especially around this detail area here. And you'll notice that I'm going in not with the very tippy bit of the bone folder, but along the edge. Firm, even pressure. You don't have to put a lot of muscle into it. Go across the main area. This is a larger size rub-on, so I'm going to give it a couple of good, firm, even burnishing bits here. And then what I'm going to do is fold this up and gently and slowly pull away that top portion. Now I say slowly because if there's an area that hasn't transferred, I can put it back into place and go back with my bone folder again. But there we go. Easy to do. And I think that looks really cool. So that's how simple it is to add a rub-on onto your surface. And then that's what I've done here with this really gorgeous stag. So he's up onto one of the cutouts, and then I've got some of the chipboard gears on here. I've got this postcard chipboard bit. The Adventure is a cutout, and I've simply popped that up with some foam tape, again, to give a little bit of extra dimension. Now, all around the outside edge of my card, I've been doing some inking with the Delicata. This is a gold pigment ink pad, and it gives a really nice finishing touch around the outside edges there. Then for my card inside, I have a strip of pattern paper, which has also been inked with gold. And I've got another little snippet of that chicken wire, plus this cool chipboard mug. I've got some chipboard gears and 2 more rub-ons here. So this is an easy and fun way to create a card design with this cool steampunk style. And of course, I've got some more for you, so let's have a look. Elegantly dressed animals are definitely a theme for this collection, and I just had to make something to spotlight this dapper tabby cat, and a center step card design was ideal. So this is the center step. You can see this center area here kind of stepping up from the border, and then when I open it up, it looks like this. So it's a really fun way to create something a little bit different. And it's also a nice way to create a sort of spotlight area for your collage focal, especially when you've got larger elements like today's chipboard collection. So let me show you the die that I'm working with. This is one of my favorites, although I think I say this for almost all of these dies. So this is the center step card. And of course you've got one main piece here, which you can see. You've got your diagrams on here, project idea. I'm going to flip it over and you can see you've got some step-by-step instructions for the project. And you've also got this nice diagram that shows you where the mountain folds go and where the valley folds go. What I like about this too is that it provides a really nice place to store your dies too. So I can keep all of my dies along with the instructions and with the project idea in their folder that they come in. So it's a really nice sturdy storage folder, which helps me to keep my craft room a little bit tidier. So here's our metal piece. All you need to do is just run this through your die cutting machine. Now, of course, the trick is going to be with 8x8 pattern papers, they are just going to be slightly too small. So what I've done to create this card is I die cut 2 pieces. So you can see I've got my pattern paper here on the front, but the base of the card is made with cardstock from that Songbirds collection. So if I flip this over, you can see the pattern paper is only going to this top portion here on the back. So let me show you how I've done that. So I'll simply die cut one piece that will be my main piece, and of course I'm going to follow the diagram and fold up my mountain and my valley fold. So I have a piece that looks like this. And then what I'll do is die cut a second time from my pattern paper, my smaller piece of cardstock, and I'll have something that looks about like this. And I will fold this up as well, and then just nest the two together. And I like to use a glue stick for this rather than double-sided tape, because you're going to kind of slide the two together, and you may need to do some scooching and fiddling to make sure that it's laying properly. And then smooth that down. Again, it's only going to cover a portion of the back, but that's fine, and it gives you a really fun two-tone effect too. So that's how I've created the base of my card. Now the fun part here is the collaged focal. I've got the chipboard elements, I've got the cat, I've got a teacup, I've got some leaves in here, and I've also got this frame. And the frame, being one of the chipboard pieces, is really perfect for spotlighting some of these other elements. So all I did is simply glued this down onto a piece of really cool faux texture pattern paper. And then I've also added the gear collection here. This is a rub-on, and I've got those leaf chipboard pieces on here. So I've just, once I glued that down, just trimmed around the outside edge, and then I can glue everything together. And I've also got a strip of cardstock here. I've also got one of the straight line dazzles, and then the 4U chipboard piece popped up on foam tape, as is that teacup. So I've got lots of layers going on here. Then for my card inside, I have another collage of elements, starting with this piece down here. Now this is actually a sheet of pattern paper. Let me grab this one. And what I like about Stamperia is they will often give you a sheet that could be used as a background as it is, but you can also cut out some of these elements and use them individually, which is what I did here. So I've got this open book, which I just simply cut out and glued to the inside of my card. And then I've layered up on top one of the cutouts. And I really like this cutout. I couldn't resist using it because I have a cat who looks just like him. I mean, mine's not wearing a waistcoat, but other than that, looks just like him. And then I've got my message, which is a cutout down here, another strip of cardstock, and another dazzle straight-edged border in there too. Okay, I have another project idea I want to share with you. It's another cat card, so don't worry, dog people, I have cards for you too. And this one has another shaped base. Now this is made with the circular step card die. Yes, again, another one of my favorites. And this is a really quick and easy one to put together as well. Just one piece. You'll fold it up like so. And then you've, again, got a really nice area for spotlighting your focal image, which in my case here is this really sweet little black cat. I've got one who looks like her too. And she's from the inside back cover. I couldn't resist this. So she's already got a frame going around her. But then I took one of the other chipboard frames here and then simply placed that right on top to give a little bit more depth. Now this already has a title. It says Best Friends, but I've added on here another one of the chipboard pieces that says Be Yourself. So I just glued that right on top. So you could do the Be Yourself. You could have For You. That's another option there. Then there's also Happiness, and then there are also some of the cutouts from the paper pack as well, so some other messages in there too. So you can create some really fun personalized focals in there as well. So I've got my Be Yourself, I've got a little snippet of patterned paper here, some of the rub-ons down at the bottom, and then one of the 1/8 inch ribbons just tied up in a bow and glued right on there. And again, got another one of those straight line dazzles. You can see how handy those are. The base of my card has been cut from plain cardstock from the Songbirds collection. And then on the inside, I've got another snippet of patterned paper, another one of the cutouts, and some of the rub-ons as well, again, as one of the straight line dazzles. And so, yes, dog people, I promised you I've got some cards for you, so let's take a look at those just coming up. There are also lots of dogs in today's collection too, including this adventurous one here. Now this card is a really fun and quite a quick one to put together as well. So I've covered the front of my card with one sheet that's got two patterns on here. So I'm kind of getting 2 for 1. And then I've added this rub-on down here at the bottom for a little bit of extra interest, and then layered the chipboard and cutout elements on top. So I have this nice big clock image, which just works beautifully on its own, but can also create a nice bottom element for a collage. And so that's how I've used it. I've got this cup with our dog on there. He's ready to go. He's got his aviator goggles on and everything else. Then in between, I have something else going on with this cutout, and that's what I really want to show you today. It's a distressed postcard. It's made with a classic paper crafting technique, one that is super easy to do. So I showed you this sheet here that's got these beautiful postcards on it, of course, double-sided, so you can choose the side that you want. And again, you could use this whole sheet as a background if you wanted to, or of course, separate those images, which is what I've done here. So I'm going to demonstrate this with this postcard. You've got some nice faux texture in the background. You've got the words and the postmarks on here as well. Now, to distress this, super simple to do, I'm going to grab my water mister and just mist some of this water on the front and kind of rub it in on the back as well. You don't have to use a lot, just enough to make that paper and that nice thick cardstock fold up and crinkle and distress a little bit. So it's not soaking wet, but it is wet enough that I can wad this up a little bit. And then what I can do as much distressing as I want to, but I'm going to go a little bit lighter on this. I'm going to grab one of my dye-based ink pads, and this one is the Velvet Fawn. So this is going to give a nice and easy distressing effect on here. I'm just going to hit the highlights of my crumpled piece. And then I'm also going to come in with my Delicata ink pad and go over those same areas and give a little bit more distressing, this time with a little bit of metallic shine on there. And then I can either flatten this out totally, or in this case, I let some of this dimension stay when I glued that down and popped a little bit of foam tape underneath there. And then I've got my aged, distressed postcard in there, and I think it creates a really nice bit of interest and also goes around with the rest of the theme. Then I've got a cutout down here with my sentiment. And for the card inside, I've got some of this teal cardstock from our cardstock collection today, and a little bit of this postcard patterned paper separated by a straight line dazzle. This image down here is a cutout from the paper pack, just glued down with the Happy Hearts chipboard message. And then I've got another strip of patterned paper right in here to create a really nice border on the inside front of the card as well. Our final project is an envelope box card, and this is using a new to me die, which I just love because it creates something totally unique, just a really fun design, one with a lot of dimension. Now this is what it looks like when it's standing up, and then of course it can fold over to one side so that you can mail it. You can fold over to either side actually. So let me show you this, and then the reverse side with our chipboard and cutout images on here. Okay, let's take a look at the die. And this will include 3 metal pieces. You can see them here. So you've got your base, and then you've got your centerpiece, and then the front portion as well. Again, project idea, and most important, all of your folding diagrams on here too. So what you'll do is simply die cut one of each piece. So here's our base piece, here's our center, and then here is our bottom flap area. And I've cut them from different colors of cardstock so that you can see them a little bit better. All you need to do is follow the folding diagram to fold this base piece up, and it will look like this. So already you can probably start to see how this is coming together. And then you're going to take your center, kind of a center bar piece. It's got 2 fold up tabs on there, and you'll notice I've already got some extra sticky tape on there. This is perfect for working with this type of die because it's going to hold everything in place perfectly. So you'll take the liners off there, and then you'll position the bar right inside, even with the top portion here. So you don't want that to go too much beyond. So you'll have something that looks like this. And then from here, you can take this bottom portion and glue it right on the top, like so. So you can use any of your different patterned papers or cardstock. You can mix and match. I used some of the solid cardstock from the Songbirds collection to make the base piece, and then I wanted to use some of that pattern paper for the bottom portion here as well. And then I've got this very dignified dog cutout in the center here, and I've added some chipboard elements in the back. So again, let me angle this and you can kind of see where everything has been glued. I've got this cutout here. This is popped up with a little bit of foam tape, and then I have a rub-on right up here in the corner and a little gingham ribbon tied in a bow just to anchor this really nicely. So again, then we've got the back, which you can see here, and then the front, easily folding flat for mailing purposes. I just think this is a lot of fun and a great way to give someone something a little bit different. So this is our final project of the day today. A big thank you to our friends at Stamperia, as always, for such a really fun collection. Very imaginative and very unique, and a lot of fun to work with too. A special thanks to you, of course, for joining me today. We're so glad that you're here, and we're really happy you're part of our Paper Wishes family. So do feel free to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately, and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. For the money saver, see this webisode on paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes webisodes page, and you can see everything I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. We create 3 to 5 videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.